He said the words without fear. That was the part that broke me. I need more than one partner, and I've already reconnected with her, the woman he once swore he forgot. His voice didn't shake, mine didn't either. 23 years had taught me the art of stillness. I sat across from him at our dining table, the same place where we once whispered dreams at midnight. Now it smelled like betrayal disguised as honesty. I didn't scream, didn't beg, didn't collapse. I just stared at the man who once promised forever and realized he had quietly revised the definition. And in that moment, while he waited for me to break, I began to plan. We met when I was 26. He spilled coffee on my notebook at a seminar and apologized like he'd ruined my life. I laughed. He smiled, and life felt like it had opened a door. Back then he was gentle, devoted, the type who rushed home just to tell me a story about his day. He kissed me like I was the first good thing that ever happened to him. I believed him. I believed in us. So when he slid a ring on my finger 2 years later, I walked into the future with unshakable trust. But trust has an expiration date. His ran out the night my phone lit up at 2 a.m. It started small, too small. He began guarding his phone like it held state secrets. His late walks became mind-clearing routines. His clothes smelled faintly of peppermint gum, something he never used. He was distracted, overly gentle, oddly distant, like he was rehearsing guilt. Then one evening, while he showered, the screen of his phone lit up. A name I remembered from his past. A woman who once meant nothing. A message that said, "Next time, I'll kiss you longer." I didn't gasp, didn't fall to my knees. Instead, a familiar coldness settled into my spine like an old friend returning. Betrayal wasn't new in this world, only the source changes. When he came out of the bathroom, towel around his waist, I asked him how his night walk went. He lied without blinking. That was the moment I decided he would never lie to me again. Not because he'd learn honesty, but because he'd lose the privilege of speaking into my life. I just needed time. He thought I was breaking. I let him think that. For weeks I observed him the way a detective watches a suspect. Quietly, meticulously. Every unanswered question, every late return, every overly casual mention of just a friend. I documented everything. Screenshots, dates, voicemails, every breadcrumb he dropped while running toward a fantasy where I didn't exist. When he finally confessed, when he told me he needed multiple partners as if it were a spiritual awakening, I already knew the full story. They had kissed, they had met. He refused to stop. And he expected me to be the flexible one. I told him I needed space. He took it as surrender. It was permission. The plan unfolded slowly, the way storms creep before they strike. I met with a lawyer first, calm, steady, deliberate. I learned exactly what 23 years of loyalty entitled me to. The finances, the assets, the retirement accounts he thought I never understood. I understood everything. I moved funds legally. I secured accounts in my name. I protected what was mine. He was too distracted, too giddy with his new chapter to notice the quiet shifting beneath his feet. Next, I called the woman, not to confront, to confirm. Her voice trembled the moment she realized who I was. She tried to soften the truth, but facts don't bend just because feelings want them to. She admitted everything. The messages, the meetings, the kiss he denied. I thanked her, genuinely. Information is a gift. Which brings me back to tonight, the moment he walked in, smelling of excitement and peppermint gum, expecting the same quiet wife who'd accept crumbs of affection in exchange for decades of devotion. He didn't see the folder on the table until I pushed it toward him. Bank statements, legal documents, screenshots. His own words reflected back at him like a mirror he couldn't avoid. "What is this?" he whispered. "Your new future," I said, "the one you traded us for." His face drained as he flipped page after page. Confusion turned to panic. Panic turned to regret. Regret turned to the horrifying realization that he'd underestimated me. "I thought we could work through this," he breathed. "We did," I replied. "This is me working through it." He reached for me. I stepped back. He tried to explain. I let silence answer him. He asked for another chance. I gave him the papers. By the time he understood the full weight of what I'd done, how thoroughly, how legally, how quietly, I could see it in his eyes. He had expected tears. He never expected strategy. Now I sit alone in the home I secured, listening to the calm hum of the night. My hands aren't shaking. My heart isn't shattered. It's steady, finally steady. I gave him 23 years. He gave me clarity. And ETH